One of the most asked questions to me is, what are the best lists in the game? Is the list I'm running any good? How can I play better? So today, what I've got for you guys, I have the current American Warcry Champion with me. Rob, welcome, welcome.
The very generous title, and
There have been no
thank you
other
for
events since
that.
Nova, so that's the title you're getting, okay?
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll
What's
take every
going on,
title we can
everybody?
get. Yes. Hello, hello. Yeah, so Rob, he top Nova. He did real well. So what I did today, I've asked him his top picks for the top 5 lists in this meta. He's given me a big old list of them. We're going to go through them. And hopefully we will have a bit of fun, learn something new. Right, so let's get going. The first thing I want to touch on very briefly is what makes the best warbands in Warcry. And I think there are a whole bunch of different criteria for that. It depends on the mission pack that you're playing. Different warbands will have different strengths and weaknesses depending on the kinds of missions that you're playing. Some will be better in kill missions, some will be better in objectives. Some of the best warbands will have the best chaff units. So we're talking about on the cheapest of cheap side. What that allows you to do is put more numbers on the field and pad out those big meaty fighters or those really good abilities that you might have on your other fighters and give you more actions to use during the game. Some of these warbands might have the best elites. So we're talking about classic things like your Annihilators, other kinds of Quest or Soulsworn, maybe those kind of fighters where your basic 120 to 150 point dudes will far outshine the rest. Some of these really good warbands will have very versatile abilities that give you more options while you're playing and while you're making your turns. We talk a lot about things like Gloomspite Gits, and we talk a lot about things like Sylvaneth, where they basically have abilities for every single eventuality. So some of those things, when you are building your warbands, trying to build all-round lists, will definitely come into play. But today, Rob, we're going to look at a few things. We're going to look at these warbands that you've sent me, and we're going to see what makes them tick. Rob, we're going to start with Ironjawz. They are your pick for probably one of the best factions in game at the moment. Why do you think they are dominating at the moment, and why do you think they got what it takes to take that top spot?
That's an awesome question. Plain and simple, the battle trait is just insane, right? Saying that you can't wait, otherwise I get free moves with my big boys that puts me closer is pretty wild. If I mighty wog and then you wait, if they're in that aura, they're just going to get to. I think they could still only move up to 3. You can't cheat out the 6, but you're still going to be flying up things. You can wait, they cannot. And if they do wait, it's putting your big boys like our boy Big Boss, or it's putting a Mega Boss or a Brute into a position where they can get a swing and do something. They have some of the best abilities in the game, ranging from charge, just to move towards the closest thing within 6 inches. And they have you messing. Things 14 wounds and under don't count as contesting a point. That beats chaff swarms, like low value, dispossessed, Gravelords. Have the new inclusions of the big boss and the new ard boys, giving them access to a push mechanic. So if you wait, somebody else does something, they don't kill you, you just push things away. You don't have to engage. You can force people to move, you make dice to do things. And I think that's really incredibly strong, having a push mechanic. They are dice hungry, so it is a finesse warband. You're not just going to roll up there and be like, I'm going to fight Stormcast or Big Ogres. You got to be a little bit more finesse than that. They have all the tools to either tech into a mission pack that is going to promote horde synergy, or it's going to promote elites. On the screen, as you see, a good basis is our boy Big Boss. They have 2 profiles for
Yes,
175.
they do.
They let you do direct burn damage on a push if you're within 6 of that guy. They also momentarily count as brutes,
Yeah,
and
that's
you get duff.
debatable, that one, I think.
Yeah, I would say it's debatable too. We got to wait to get a clarification on it. Right now, it's what we had somebody run it, and it felt absolutely vilely insane. But even without duff up or you messing, you still get wog. You still get the enable the push burn, and you know what? It's still just a really good fighter for 175. It's good support for your boys. You have the freshly minted Ard boys with Choppas. I like the 1-inch range 3-4-2-4, and they still have
Yes.
5T. They benefit from everybody else. They're just tough. They're overall really just excellent units. I would be interested in seeing people play with Stickus for the 2-inch range to kind of give them either come next to me and get pushed away, or I'm just going to throw 4 dice at you and hopefully like crit fish. I'd like to see somebody try that out. And you see on the side, general, anti-horde, anti-elite. We have the tools to adapt to anything. We're going to be running ourselves at 7 models, unless we just go 2 heroes, then we can go up to 8 models. Having anti-elite being able to run up and just really good. Having anti-horde option, which I absolutely love the Rekka for. I love the fact that we can get our boy boss for extra wog, and we can get a brute boss in there to just steal more points with you messing. Absolutely insane. Our boy boss can also be replaced by Thug, who is everybody's favorite Bladeborn Warcox crushes that people probably don't know about. Or you could just put in a 140 brute. Doesn't make a difference. I just like having 2 to 3 sources of wog. But I mean, you're going to get the same value out of that having 2 instances of you messing and the ability to just spin on a point and clear stuff out. And again, the Ragers being able to run 4 and reach out 2 with 6 strength is going to be insane when you want to use their double to target something bigger and cleave through it. They have a lot of good things going for them, and they can build for take all comers with the general. They can build anti-horde, anti-elite. They are very hard to play. I don't think they're just an easy line them up and walk at them. But once you get a good mastery over them, piloting them is such a joy because you get to outthink and out-strategize and play tactically with them.
One note about their battle trait. A lot of people have said, oh, against Horde Warbands, it doesn't matter. They have the numbers, so they can just move their guys. And against other kinds of warbands, oh, it doesn't matter. Your opponent can just move anyway. I played into a 7-man Ironjawz list with 15 dudes the other week. And it's not just about if your opponent isn't waiting, then that's not the battle trait not working. That's the battle trait 100%
That's the battle trait working.
100%
That means it
doing
worked.
what it's supposed to. Exactly. Yeah. If I got 15 guys and I have to move all my spiders first, while my opponent can wait to see what I do, then that's an issue. It takes away one of the biggest benefits of having a really big warband, because your guys are basically going to be garbage if you're running 15 dudes, or any kind of really big warband. They are not going to be able to take on our boys 1-for-1, like basic guys. So yeah, the battle trait, I think it's a lot more impactful than people are giving it credit for. I think clever use of that battle trait, along with these other tools that we've just talked about, is really what sets Ironjawz head and shoulders above the rest.
I think it's a really cool game design to have this controlling brawling faction fighting Stormcast. They have a poor fight into them, but they have the tools now to just push the Annihilator away. So it has to actually use an actual move. It can't just sit there and fight. Pushing things off points like the new Night Questers that want to ordain a point. They could just say, okay, well, get off the point. Only one of you is on the ordained point. There's a lot of cool things they can do. A lot of people just see red and want to kill, but it's not the purpose. You definitely send Mega Boss after stuff. You definitely send Ragers after things, but it's about setting up your turns 2, 3, and 4, while your turn 1 is pretty much using WOG all the time to just get into that position. If you measure out and you say, hey, I only need 6 inches to get there, you can wait on stuff, WOG, move everybody up to the point, and then move wherever else you want to get set up for. Like you said, not waiting is the trait working. If you're not waiting with a Swarm Warband, you're probably not optimizing it. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that definitely. There's definitely edge cases where you just want to go and be on the aggressive foot. Weight is one of the most powerful control tools in the game. To say you can't do it, I can do it, makes them a really good control. Where it really shafts out is things like Kruleboyz and other reaction-based fighty warbands that kind of want you to come in and be like, okay, I react, I get a free swing. But you used to just be able to wait across the board, and then you'd see where they move and develop, and you would set up for them to move into you next turn and get all these free extra attacks. Now they can't really wait. Otherwise, they're sending a Mega Boss. They're sending these big dudes up. And like, you don't care if they take a swing on a T5 Hard Boy or on your Mega Boss or any of them. You're just going to move right in and start clapping cheeks. Yeah, I think that's where they bone a little bit harder than they should, but they're absolutely fantastic if you want to learn, grow, and flex mastery of the game.
All right, good. So that's Ironjawz. Guys, watch time from subscribers, 47%. What's going on? We're slacking. But to the rest of you, let's go. You can hit that subscribe button, costs you absolutely nothing, and we can continue to make more videos like the one you're watching now. If you want to throw some more support my way, you can join me over on YouTube. You can join me on Patreon. Join me over on Streamlabs. Either way, you get to see new stuff. You get to see stuff before it's released, and you get to have a bit of a say into the kind of stuff I am doing now. But with that being said, let's get back to the video. And let's go into Slaanesh Sybarites. I was kind of surprised at Sybarites. You see, I see this list and I see a fine list. I wouldn't necessarily call it one of the best lists in the game. it is using Vex more, so you're not allowed to use the Sybarite battle trait of doing more damage. Personally, I always saw the Lord of Hubris as this thing that is, yes, it is really good, the Lord of Hubris, but it's basically made of paper, so it's very much a high risk piece. So can you tell me what your thoughts are around this and why you think this is one of the best ones?
Heck yeah, man. Lord of Hubris can also be a flex piece. You can get other things in there.
Mhm.
I played against this list at Nova. My boy on our team, Peter, played this list. This list skews a lot of things. You have so much blistering speed,
Mm.
and you have a great reaction with the homunculus to park them on a point and do a lot of chip damage. You have the ability to control a zone with Vexmore. You can replace Hubris with
Yeah,
Ashes.
to
You can
give
replace it with a
Vex
couple other
more
things.
options when she dies and to
Right.
do other things with
Yep.
the auras. Yeah.
Yep. You have a lot of options, but you get 4 threats that are blisteringly fast that ask, how do you want to approach this fight? Lord of Pain is a mini ogre with unrivaled velocity, moving 7, reaching out 2. So he's a 9-inch range with a double. He's throwing 4 dice with 5 strength, 3, 5. It's pretty disgusting. He can just clean up mid range effectively. There's a lot of things you can bless him with strength. Slake Slash gets blessed with strength or toughness. Slake Slash is one of the craziest models in the game. If you're not prepared for it, just catches you off guard because they can play the game of we can just fly into you before you get to activate and we can just start throwing dice. It is fragile. It's operating with a scalpel, not a boulder. So you got to think about it in those terms, as my teammate Pete put it. It's a great list that can catch a lot of other lists off
Mm.
guard quickly, and that's why I think it's one of the better lists.
Nice. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll have to check that out because I've always liked faster lists myself. It's
It's
just the kind
it's
of thing I like to do.
blisteringly fast, and like I said, hubris can be anything else. But I've had hubris gone up against, and for it to throw 6 dice, 6 strength,
Hmm.
and hit 2 6, absolutely explodes things when you're like, here's 12 dice, and you're just gone, and you're
Sure.
like, what happened?
Sure.
It's insane.
Next up, we have Sea of Sigmar Dispossessed. Me and Toast have been going on about Dispossessed a lot, about how their reaction's very good, about how they've got very good abilities to count as more guys on points. I
Mhm.
guess the way you're going with this is you're using Pure Flood Seneschal to get extra movement off, and then we've got the Annihilator Prime, which does a whole bunch of damage. You can get the Prime to move about where you need to be. You're going to use your Seneschal to get around the inherent slowness of the dwarves. But once they are on those points, they are a nightmare to shift with the toughness 5.
Yeah, it's a really cool, tough warband. And I think other than Ironjawz pushing or you messing, they have a
Mhm.
really great matchup into a lot of things. They have a T5, so it's really hard to pick them down with ranged. And having the anti prime, we're gonna bless here with movement, so it's gonna be moving 4.
Nice.
The Pure Flood Seneschal, I like the idea of having extra range with no min, so you could park it safely behind your dwarves, have the dwarves sit there, wait, use your reaction, throw darts off. If they get killed, throw darts off, or just boost and move her. I think she runs 5 native. You're moving, 7, 8, 9, whatever it might be. With the triple, it acts like WOG. I think it's one of the strongest things, especially if you're playing on FG2, which is Ferocious Gnarlwood 2 Battle Pack that you will see at Warhammer World in the
Mhm.
UK. There's a lot of far back deployments. So giving your M3 guys saying, oh, wow, we're M3, we're slow. It's just like playing WOG when I played Ironjawz into it. All of a sudden, your move 3 guys, oh, well, they're move 6 now. And then everything's just getting up so much faster where it has to set up. Warden King's no slouch for 145 points.
It's pretty good.
He's got a good double. I think that reduces damage in the little aura against him and his
Mhm.
boys. So if you're on a objective and you want to hold it, you have 2 doubles, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to count as 3 bodies because over my dead body is absolutely broken with this. And then he reduces the hit and crit, I believe. And all of a sudden you're just tanking points and you're sitting there fighting while your Pure Flood can bounce from point to point with some range support. It is fragile, hard to pilot. That also could be anything else. You want to throw Sereni in there. You want to throw
Sure.
anything else that's going to get play well with bonus activations off the reaction from these guys. It's got a good flex space. I like the anti prime with them. You can put shooting with them, whatever you want
Mhm.
to do. You want to put a pock and a Haskell, flexible, fun. People like dwarves, apparently. I don't know why. It's a good list. It's going to fight up on a lot of good objectives.
Nice. And I think the pattern we're seeing on all these lists, right, is that none of them seem easy to pilot. They're all have their quirks and they all have a ton of utility to them, but it's really about how you're using that utility during your game, and that'll tell you how good you'll do, basically.
So far, I would say this is the easiest.
Probably, yeah, because it's just
Um,
parking tough dudes on
you're
points.
parking bodies on points. You're saying over my dead body, that's 3 of them. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
between 2 points and you can cap both,
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure. And you just got to figure out what to do with your dice on turn 1 to get everybody in the position. That's it.
Sure.
It's probably the easiest one.
Next up, we have Ogor Mawtribes. We got a whole bunch of
Did
got
you know
more smashing
510
things.
profiles are good?
Who'd have thought? I couldn't tell you why.
So I was debating on how degenerate to be with this. I know
Sure.
there's people out there that like their ogres, they like their little dudes with them, but you get talls and smalls. The Nobblers finance anything you want to do here.
Yeah.
You can go double Gutlord, Morgok, Boggle-Eye, and some Nobblers and Bushwhack and still hit 1,000 even,
Mhm.
which is like makes me pretty upset. Right? Like you would just remove Thug and replace that with a Boggle-Eye. Ogre Glutton goes up to 2 Gutlords. You have the ability to still point, so you mess in. You're double on a Gutlord, make it a 9-inch range, and then you're not buffing it for the 4th attack. Who cares? You're still going to, on average, kill things, or
Sure.
at least put things down pretty easily. You have reach, the ability to move on a double. This is probably not even the most optimized one, but like heck, this is just a good starting. Like Morgok can also be a mega boss if you want it. It could just be a regular brute. I think that's what I was using as 10 in the brute because you're low on numbers. Park them on a point, steal a point if they can't contest it, and also just have high toughness and health.
Yes.
So I mean, have fun. 510. It's good though.
Yeah.
It's fun time.
Yes,
it's
just
cool
big stat
models.
smashing into things, right?
You want to play some big boys and go quick. You want to hit things hard. Let's go.
Kruleboyz. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. People probably will hate me after writing all these lists with names, right? Clawback is one of the most premier allies Destruction's had.
Of course.
And with the Bladeborn reworking points, we got Morgok. Morgok effectively is a better brute boss for more points. You trade off strength and a couple different things, but you get a little bit more HP. You get a really good fighting profile out of it.
You're paying more, but
Yeah,
you get what you pay for.
but because you can ally in another brute with it, that's Thug, which is basically just a regular 140 brute with like 1 more HP and a better crit for 5 more points, and he doesn't take up a slot. It lets you play these 3 big brawling pieces that can take over points. Clawback goes really well into swarms because if you put them into the middle of a bunch of bodies, I put them into the middle of 4 or 5 your spiders. If you get a quad, I know you don't want to bank around playing a quad, but let's be real, that's a threat. If you get in a quad, you're clearing out a whole bunch of things in one go. The Swamp Caller Shaman, pretty spice. I like the fact that it could deal with other Titans on a triple. It gives an aura of -1 in the 6-inch aura, -1 attack to enemy stuff. But it can also be Dagok. It could be Bolt Boy boss. It could be anything that's 175 and down. You want to add some more bodies, make it a regular Rippa boss, and then shift the points around. Herc the Howl is an abomination. You can make it a Gut Rippa if you want. Shank, Gikit, Stabgrot, all little dudes that offer the, hey, you want to step into us? One of the dudes has nets. Everybody has a reaction that says if you move within 3, we get a free attack on you. Each battle group's going to get a clawback, a Morgok, and a Thug. So if you want to move in, prepare to fight some big boys. It's a pretty well-rounded list. I love Kruleboyz Soup. It's one of my favorites. It's customizable. It's something that I think that anybody can just throw together real quick and have some good leniency on it. This is a crazy list. Seems super fun.
Nice. And lastly, you've given me a Soulblight Gravelord list. There's something I want to say. A lot of the problems that people say, oh, the meta's just become like super killy, these 7-man lists that like are just blowing over things. My view was that the reason why nothing is really changing is because people stopped playing Soulblight Gravelords. No one plays them anymore. After the apparent nerfs, that weren't really nerfs, in April and again in September, people just stop playing them. That's a mistake. And I think these bigger resurrecty kind of utility warbands are one of the big things that can keep all of these big smashy fighters in check.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the natural progression of any game, right? We're seeing a like resurgence of elite and mid-range. So what's going to counter that? Well, let's flood the board. Now, Ironjawz is the exception to keep them honest, but they have to be built a specific way and played a specific way. So that's down to pilot skill, right? A shout out to Kyle from Great White Nope on Discord from our team. Played a very similar list at Adepticon and several times in TTS League. And pretty much you can, the Ion, Bolt, Vlash, the Antelos, like the zombie package.
I love them. They are amazing.
It's so good. You can find them online, relatively cheaper than a box. I know in America it's like $35 for us, so probably a little bit cheaper for you guys over there.
They're just
And
fun to
you get
use. That's the thing,
it's
right?
fun. You
They
get
do their
sweet
own
models to
thing.
paint.
Yeah.
Right. They get an extra ability that just says, "Hey, we get to electrocute stuff." It's cool on a high double. It's a lot of fun to throw a dice, and you can still resurrect them at full. Grieve Guard with White Blades took a little bit hit, doesn't matter, still good. And then you add the spicy Black Knight, and the
I love
Black
the
Knight
Black
in
Knight.
here, super good, giving you a crazy mobility piece with a triple the charge on turn 1 when you're not going to get killed. Just run up and deal a quick 5 damage or something. Like, who cares?
Yep.
It's awesome. Like, it's really good. You get to play the waiting game with everything. You have surprising speed with Shambling Horror. You have 2 Rezzers with White King and D'Antle. I'm thinking Rezzos, like
I mean,
Rizzo.
people don't like to bring the White King, but let's not discount him.
He's
For
good.
his points, he's fantastic. He's got toughness.
Yeah, there's
He's
nothing wrong
a
with
stupid
it.
high crit.
Right.
He catches you with your pants down, and that's it.
As an avid man catching other avid men with pants down, I must say that I agree with you. If you want to play something smashy and you just want to throw buckets of dice, this isn't the thing for you. This is a slow attrition, grind you out, and then when we're in position, then we can start throwing dice because they target you and you unfeeling flesh. All of a
Yes.
sudden, if you're not a 3 whatever crit you are, but if you're a 2x, like a 2-hit damage, that goes down to 1. All of a sudden, these 10 wounds feel insurmountable. And then when you do finally kill it, they res. And speaking of that, resurrect is still one of the strongest things to fundamentally cheat. Let's say cheat, right? Dispossess can cheat extra bodies. Ironjawz can cheat points. These guys cheat mechanics if you're playing regular Reaper, where it's like, I killed something, and you're like, I resed it, you don't get the points for that this turn. It cheats certain missions, and that's a valid play style. It's very frustrating if you like a control, slower, attrition-based playstyle. It's very frustrating. It caught a bad rap for a while. And it's like you said, they got nerfed, right? They got nerfed.
Yeah,
Get a
well,
little,
now they're actually paying points for the stuff.
little pat on the butt, you know. They're like, "Hey, don't do that again," and they're like, "Okay, Daddy, I won't."
This would have been like a 12 or 13 fighter warband in a past life.
Right. Like you could still do that if you want to drop a couple things and just go cheaper. Drop the Black Knight and just smack like 3 more skeletons in there,
Sure.
like, or 2 more skeletons and whatever it might be. Now they're 50 points, right? You could still get it up to 13 really easily. I don't have to take D'Antelos. I could take a Necromancer, get even more points, and still go up. Absolutely. D'Antelos just kind of offers a scary ranged threat with 6 strength.
D'Antelos' gun is good.
Yeah, dude, he's no joke. He makes people come to him, and then they get swarmed with zombies, and all of a sudden they can't do anything, and it's a trap. It's a fun warband that if you like this playstyle, if you like looking at this, like, heck, let's be honest, the biggest thing you're playing for, because you have some stuff you love and you want to see it on the table, do this. You can sub out any of these guys, which is just regular zombies and skeletons. And D'Antelos can be Necromancer, or it can be a Vampire Lord if you want to swap around the points a little bit more. There's a lot of things you can do here. And this is just showing you like an optimized version that I would play on. No, I wouldn't play it, but that's someone like up.
I totally play this.
I know Phylax used to play Soulblight a bit. Kyle loves playing Death, like all these things. So this is definitely a very valid, still strong play style.
So that was it. That was American World Champion Nova King Rob's top 5 lists of this format. Rob, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure having you on.
I love being here. Thank you so much. When you said Nova King, I thought you said Nova Kane, and I was like, whoa, I don't know if we promote that lifestyle.
Don't know about that one.
For sure.
But yes, as always, everybody at home, thank you very much for watching. If you want more stuff like this, you want me to get more of these tournament winners on, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know down in the comments what you think about these lists. If you've got some really good lists that you think could be top contenders this time around, let us know. Happy to have a conversation about it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been Itan. Where am I pointing? That's been Rob. This has been Off Meta Musings, and we will see you next time.
Take care.